Why is it so easy to binge-watch shows but so hard to go to the gym? Why can we scroll for hours but can't write that one email or study for our exams? It's not because you're weak. It's not because you're lazy. It's because your brain hasn't been trained to want the hard stuff. In this video, I'm going to show you how to literally rewire your brain so difficult tasks feel rewarding, exciting, and even addictive. Stick with me because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to make your brain crave the things you've been avoiding. Why we avoid difficult things. Your brain's number one job is survival. Thousands of years ago, comfort meant safety. Anything that felt uncomfortable might have been dangerous. Fast forward to today, the danger is no longer a wild animal, but a tough project, an awkward phone call, or a workout. Yet your brain still treats discomfort as a threat. So when you choose scrolling on your phone over studying, your brain thinks it's keeping you safe. Comfort equals reward. Challenge equals danger. But here's the good news. This wiring isn't permanent. Think of your brain as a puppy. At first, it does whatever it wants, but with the right training, it can learn new tricks. The science of craving. Dopamine. Let's talk about dopamine. Most people call it the pleasure chemical, but that's only half the story. Dopamine is really the anticipation chemical. It spikes not when you get the reward, but when you expect the reward. This means you don't have to change the difficult task itself. You can change the reward signals your brain connects to it. Think of it like a dog hearing a bell and starting to drool. The bell isn't food, but the brain learns to expect food after the bell. We can do the same thing with our habits. Step 1. Attach tiny rewards to hard habits. Our first tool is small, instant rewards. When you do something hard, immediately follow it with something pleasant. Example, only listen to your favorite playlist when cleaning or exercising. Treat yourself to a fancy coffee after finishing a tough assignment. Watch your favorite show only after completing your study session. Over time, your brain starts to link the hard activity with the pleasant outcome. Soon, the hard activity becomes the cue for pleasure. Think about kids. You give them a gold star for doing chores, and they'll fight over who gets to sweep. Adults aren't that different. We just need bigger gold stars. Step 2, make progress visible. Your brain loves seeing progress. Every time you check a box or fill in a tracker, you get a tiny dopamine hit. You can do this by using a habit tracker app or a physical calendar, putting sticky notes on a wall and peel one off for every task done. Or draw a progress bar and color it in after each milestone. The smaller and more visible the steps, the stronger the motivation. This works because your brain hates breaking a streak. Once you have a row of check marks, you'll do almost anything to keep it going. Step 3, reframe the story you tell yourself. Language shapes how your brain experiences tasks. I have to go to the gym feels like punishment. I get to go to the gym feels like a privilege. When you label something as a challenge or a game, your brain switches from avoidance to curiosity. Try this. Instead of saying, I have to finish this report, say, I'm testing my focus superpower for the next 25 minutes. Or, I'm doing a mini mission instead of studying for a test. Over time, your brain starts craving these missions because they're linked to identity and growth rather than punishment. Step 4, lower the barrier. Start tiny. Often the hardest part of any task is just starting. So shrink it down, make it so small it's almost impossible to say no. Want to start running? Put on your shoes and walk for 2 minutes. Want to write? Open the doc and type 1 sentence. Want to meditate? Sit down and take 3 deep breaths. Your brain registers this as a win. Once you start, momentum takes over. This is how you trick your brain into action without fighting yourself. Step 5, identity and environment. Habits stick when they match your identity. If you see yourself as someone who always finishes what they start, your brain aligns with that. Change the way you talk about yourself. I'm a reader, not I'm trying to read more. I'm a runner, not I'm trying to run. Also, set up your environment to make hard things easier. Keep your workout clothes ready. Put your phone in another room while working. Make friction high for bad habits and low for good ones. Identity and environment are like autopilot for your brain. Here's the big takeaway. Your brain isn't broken. It's programmable. It's designed to protect you from discomfort, but you can teach it to love the challenge. Attach instant rewards. Make progress visible. Reframe tasks as games or privileges. Start small. Shape your identity and environment. If you do these consistently, hard things will stop feeling hard. They'll feel exciting. And once you cross that line, your potential becomes limitless. If this video helped you, share it with someone who's struggling to stay motivated. And comment below, what's one hard habit you're going to start today?